Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, shall we be seated? Thank you very much. Vice Chancellor, Professor Olayemi Akinwumi, and his principal officers, Your Excellency, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, CFR, the distinguished Special Founders Day lecturer, other very distinguished past and present members of the House of Representatives, members of the State Executive Council here present, provosts, deans, directors, distinguished members of the University Senate, visiting vice chancellors, and heads of tertiary institutions, senior academics and non-teaching staff, my lords, spiritual and temporal, His Royal Highnesses, guests and friends of the university, students, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Before we proceed, I would like that we rise for the national anthem. The national anthem, please.
Greatest FUL, greatest FUL, and the greatest FUL.
Thank you. Thank you. The Vice Chancellor, sir. Today we have in our midst a complete gentleman, a rare political guru, a man with humility and candor. Mr. Vice Chancellor, without wasting our time, I would like to invite you to welcome these masquerades that we have on our campus today. Thank you very much.
The Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, the Registrar Bossa University Librarian, our distinguished guest speaker, His Excellency Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, EFR, members of the University Senate, provosts, deans, and directors, head of department and units, staff and students of the university, gentlemen of the print and the media, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, my brother and my colleague, Vice Chancellor of Kogi State University, Kaba, and the registrar. You are welcome. With great joy in my heart, I welcome you all to this special public lecture organized in commemoration of our Founders Day, which is being held as part of the activities marking the 9th Convocation Ceremony of the Federal University Lokoja. This lecture is indeed a historic one because it is the first time we are holding a lecture to commemorate our Founders Day during the Convocation Ceremony of the university. It is therefore both a celebration and a reflection, a time to look back with gratitude and to look forward with renewed hope and commitment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I at this point invite us to recall with pride and gratitude the story of our beginning. Federal University Lokoja was established in 2011 by the federal government of Nigeria under the visionary leadership of His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR. The founding vision was clear: to expand access to quality higher education, promote academic excellence, and foster national development through research, innovation, and community engagement. In recognition of this, we have deemed it fit to hold this special event to appreciate profoundly our founding fathers, the visionaries who labored with faith and foresight to establish this great citadel of learning. Their dream was to create a world-class university that will produce graduates equipped with knowledge, character, and creativity to serve our nation and humanity. Our founding fathers have indeed written their names in the sand of time, and their legacies can never be forgotten. They built not just structures, but an enduring institution whose light continues to shine brightly across the educational landscape of Nigeria. We are eternally grateful to them for their sacrifices and their belief in the transformative power of education. Today, we can confidently say that the purpose for which this university was founded has started yielding fruit. We see it in the growing number of our graduates making waves in various fields. We see it in our expanding infrastructure, research output, and national recognition. And we pray that this fruit will continue to multiply in the years to come. Truly, their efforts are not in vain. Permit me at this juncture to express our profound appreciation to our distinguished guest lecturer, His Excellency Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, CFR, former Speaker of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for graciously accepting to deliver this lecture titled Empowering the Future Generation, the Founder's Vision and Legacy. Your Excellency, we are most delighted to have you in our midst today. We have taken the best decision by inviting you to deliver this lecture because of your proven record of leadership, your passion for education, and your unrelenting advocacy for youth development and nation building. We sincerely thank you for honoring our invitation despite your very busy schedule. I have no doubt that by the time you conclude your lecture, everyone present will appreciate the depth of your intellect, your patriotic spirit, and the quality of sportsmanship you embody. The theme of today's lecture, Empowering the Future Generation, the Founder's Vision and Legacy, could not have been more timely and relevant. It challenges us to reflect on the vision of our founding fathers, a vision that saw education as the key to human advancement, national growth, and societal transformation. As we celebrate their achievement, we must also ask ourselves what role we are playing in sustaining their legacy. It is not enough to admire their courage. We must also consolidate on the foundation they have laid by contributing our quota to the continued growth and development of this university. I therefore appeal to everyone, staff, students, alumni, friends, and stakeholders to see themselves as co-builders of this great institution. Each of us has a role to play in nurturing the seed planted by our founders so that it continues to blossom and bear fruit for generations yet unborn. Conclusion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we commemorate this Founders Day, we celebrate the past, appreciate the present, and look forward to a brighter future. Let us honor our founding fathers, not only in words, but through our collective efforts to uphold the ideas of excellence, discipline, innovation, and service. On behalf of the Governing Council, Senate, management, staff, and students of the Federal University Lokoja, I once again thank our distinguished guest speaker, His Excellency, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, CFR, for honoring our invitation, and I thank everyone here present for joining us in celebrating this special day in our university's history. May the legacy of our founding fathers endure forever. May their vision continue to inspire us, and may our university continue to prosper and grow from strength to strength. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you. The Vice Chancellor, sir, between 2007 to 2011, that was when His Excellency, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, came into the National Assembly as a member. And incidentally, he saw to the establishment of this university, Federal University Lokoja. So it is not by accident, it is indeed by design that you had it in mind to come to commemorate this day and to be the first to present the media the maiden lecture. Without wasting time, I would like to crave our indulgence just for 15 minutes to look at the journey so far. Chris, 15 minutes, the journey so far.
Federal University Lokoja was established in 2011 during the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan. What began humbly at its temporary takeoff site at Adankulu has, in just 14 years, blossomed into a vibrant community of learning and innovation. Today, the university operates across two campuses, with most faculties relocated to the permanent site at Felele, while the College of Health Sciences remains at Adankulu, where the journey first began. From its pioneer intake of about 500 students in 2011, the university now nurtures more than 24,000 across undergraduate, postgraduate, diploma, and affiliate programs. But how did this transformation begin? Who were the visionaries that laid its foundation? In 2010, the federal government unveiled a bold education policy to establish a federal university in every state of the federation. President Goodluck Jonathan championed the vision in the spirit of equity and inclusiveness, in line with the policy of federal character. At the Seventh Assembly, lawmakers debated the enabling bills with passion and resolve. From Kogi State, every legislator took part, and it was resolved to relocate the university in the state capital, Lokoja. Beyond the National Assembly, many sons and daughters of Kogi rallied for the birth of the university. Senator Tunde Obeha offered a three-bedroom flat at Lokongoma as its first office. Offered a three-bedroom flat at Lokongoma as its first office. Lokoja Local Government Council soon provided larger space in the government-reserved area. The Kogi State government, under the leadership of Alhaji Ibrahim Idris, granted the Government Science Secondary School at Dankulu site as its takeoff site campus, with office blocks and a university gate to match. These gestures of goodwill gave the pioneer Vice Chancellor, Professor Abdulmumini Hassan Rafindadi, and his team to the platform to begin shaping a university destined for greatness. At Adankulu, old classrooms were transformed and new structures rose under the leadership of the pioneer Vice Chancellor, Professor Afindadi, and with the steadfast support of the Registrar, Hajia Abiba Adeza. Academic activities commenced in November 2012 with the first intake of students. Great professors, men and women, remain etched in history for their roles in drafting the university's guiding blueprint. These were men and women who dared the dream. In their vision, a university was born. At the heart of this journey was the Pioneer Governing Council, chaired by Chief Innocent Ugo Chima. Together with the Senate, they worked closely with the Vice Chancellor to entrench governance, research, and academic culture. Their commitment rightly secures their place in history as true founding fathers of the Federal University Lokoja. With arts and social sciences as its only faculties at inception, Federal University Lokoja commenced full academic activities in November 2012 with about 446 students and 909 staff. Today, under the stewardship of its third Vice Chancellor, Professor Olayemi Akinwumi, the university has expanded to over 25,000 students with a growing staff strength and broadened academic disciplines. Some of the pioneer staff recall those early days of limited resources but abundant hope, when determination kept the vision alive. From the very beginning, the university sought to retain its brightest graduates, and so, over the years, exceptional students have been recruited into the workforce with a view to preserving traditions and embracing new standards. Today, some of the pioneer students, now academic staff, reflect on their journey from learners to leaders.
Just like yesterday, I remember when we resumed from the graduate program, and it looked like a joke. It was an unbelievable event, but gradually we can see from all indications that FUL has truly come of age, right from the pioneer VC, Professor Abdul Rafindadi, who laid a very good foundation, a solid foundation upon which his successors have built upon, down to Professor Angela Miri, who also took on from where Professor Rafindadi stopped, and most especially the incumbent, the present VC, Professor Olaimi Akinwumi, who came and in one of his opening address, when he was addressing the congregation at his resumption, he promised to establish the university culture, which from all indications, the evidence, are there. They have evidences abound to show that he has actually, I can say, shot above his goal by introducing some, very wonderful programs, establishing the School of Health and Sciences with departments such as medical science, medicine, nursing, MLS, law, engineering, and some other departments. And despite the fact that we know that the federal government is not as if they are churning up resources into the university, but it's been able to, within, his wisdom, found a way to see that most of this program, skate through accreditations, various levels of accreditation, and now we can say that FUL has truly come of age.
As one of the pioneer students of Federal University Lokoja here, looking back at my journey, from all indications, looking at the environment, the educational system, the staff strength, and the growth of the university so far, I would say that yes, indeed, FUL has come of age. We have advanced from who we used to be as a school to a very much better institution today. So yes, FUL has come of age.
Building Federal University Lokoja meant more than drafting policies or setting curricula. It was about creating an enduring institution with scarce resources but steadfast resolve. The pioneer registrar, the director of physical planning and development, and their team laid structures that would outlive generations. Their efforts remind us that this university was not just built, it was imagined into existence.
FUL was established in the year 2011, 16th February precisely, during the tenure of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. He wanted 12 universities to be started. 9 of us started at that time. The 3 others were established later, and we became the 12 that the president wanted the universities to be. The challenges then for Federal University Lokoja was a space for the school, location. We took off from this particular site, Adankolo. At that time, it was the secondary school, the site of a secondary school. The state government had to officially allocate it for the purpose of establishing the university, and then we started work. The secondary school, the science secondary school that was here was located to another site, and then we commenced work. The initial problem was site for the university. As you can see, Lokoja is not a very spacious town. But I am glad that the takeoff site was started here in Adankolo and the permanent site located in Pelele.
Today, Federal University Lokoja has evolved into a flourishing institution, a symbol of resilience, vision, and growth. Its transformation pays tribute to the persistence of its pioneers, whose sacrifices laid the foundation for what we see today. At the helm today is the third Vice Chancellor, Professor Olayemi Akinwumi, a historian of repute, visionary leader, and administrator. Under his watch, Federal University Lokoja has embraced innovation, expanded faculties, and strengthened its research profile while deepening partnerships across Nigeria and beyond.
The state I met the university when I came. I think the university, to a very large extent, was still what I recall, like, I don't want to use the word, but I think it served the purpose, like something like a glorified secondary school when I met the university. What do I mean by this? I met a university that only has about 4 faculties. You know, initially the university started with 2 faculties. But by the time I came in, my predecessor added 2 more faculties. So we have about 4 faculties when I came in. And we have closely a student population between 6,000 to 7,000. I met a university still at the temporary site where it's overcrowded. You know, even the temporary site was formerly a secondary school. So in the real sense of it, one can still call it like a glorified secondary school. But by the time we came in, we have an agenda. We were determined to change the narrative. Change the narrative in the sense that the university should be able to compete with other universities that were established the same year, like Federal University or here. So what we did was, 1, to concentrate more on the professional programs and science-based and professional programs. So within the first year that we assumed office, we started MBBS, medicine. We established College of Health Sciences, and we established Faculty of Engineering. We didn't relent on our efforts there. College of Health Sciences, we went up again. We started BSc Nursing. Our determination was to make it a 21st century university where ICT everything will be driven by technology. When we came in, we were determined to make use of the town and gown, to bring the town and gown together. For example, Alhaji Saleh generously donated our pharmacy complex, and that was why we were able to start the commission. Apart from that, the rural electrification will be commissioning it this weekend. Other issue, and the most important, the most iconic out of it is the Senate building. The Senate building is central to development of any university. So we were able to get the assistance of TEDFund to have this beautiful, iconic structure in the campus. And there are many other things that the infrastructural development that have taken place here. For example, the Rural Electrification Board very soon as they will commission the solar farm, and we will even be supplying or giving out electricity to the neighboring community. You understand? It's a multi-million naira project that will soon be commissioned. Apart from that, donations, we were able to use connections outside.
From its modest beginning to its present status, the Federal University Lokoja stands as a beacon of knowledge, service, and excellence, built on the dreams of pioneers and steered by visionary leaders. Its story continues, a story of hope, resilience, and promise for generations to come.
Thank you very much. That is the journey of Federal University Lokoja 14 years ago. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, just in 3 minutes, I would like to showcase one of our students to have a spoken words to commemorate this day and to also welcome His Excellency Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara to our campus. Please step forward and speak those words. Thank you. 2 minutes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here this morning, and I do not take it for granted. It's an indisputable fact that the founders are the foundation of this institution. It is their spark that has given birth to our fire and our desire, this citadel of learning, and so our history is not complete without them. So without further ado, my name is Abayomi Mercy, and this poetry is to express how these leaders or founders have used their sacrifices and their vision to bring us thus far. Permit me to go into the poetry proper. Every day they say it's a new day. A day to dream big, a day to try, a day to forget yesterday's try, a day to make hay while the sun shines. But I ask, how come the sun never lost its shine? How come the dark only lasts a while? How come this walls still stand? How come we weren't victim of a sinking sand? How come are we clothed with this will to strive, survive, even with broken spine? You see, the sun never lost its shine because people woke up dreaming even while yesterday's nightmare was still on replay. They kept trying despite how hard yesterday's failure hit them. They wore clothes of dreams that didn't fit them. Some never believed them. They didn't have fire. All they had was a spark. And you see, we're a product of these dreams, sparked not by flame but by desire. I call them heroes. And you see, they leave me wondering, how do you fly with wings you clipped so we could soar on education wing? How did you build with sweat and tears? How did you lit up rooms with visions and aspirations? Listen, can you hear it? The heartbeat. Can you see it? The indelible mark they left. The power they gave us. This power, of course, that keeps pushing and pushing us to greatness, freeing us from ignorance. Next, see, we are a proof of their dream come true. I call them heroes because they didn't just show us the door, they gave us the key. They empowered a whole generation with no levy or fee. They are not just founders, they are the foundation. Thank you.
Can do better than that. Thank you very much. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the time has come for me to introduce our speaker. Our speaker is a true leader. A true leader is one. I would have craved the indulgence of the speaker to rise. And who am I to do so? But in the context of this discussion, could you please rise and keep standing as I present you to the audience? Thank you very much, sir. A true leader is one who is guided by the interest of the people, one that embodies the principles of public service and shaped by experiences of good governance and development. The Vice Chancellor, sir, it is my honor to introduce a distinguished Nigerian politician, a lawyer, a statesman, a farmer, the 13th Speaker of the 8th National Assembly, the 2015 Politician of the Year, the 2016 Zik Prize awardee in leadership and public service, the 2016 Political Icon of the Year, the 2016 Royal Commonwealth Society of the Nigerian awardee, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, CFR, Chairman, Board of National Credit Guarantee Company, His Excellency, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, CFR. Born 1558 years ago in Guaranga, in Bogor local government area of Bauchi States, educated at the famous Bauchi Teachers College, University of Jos, Nigerian Law School, Robert Gordon University, Aberdeen, Scotland, Oxford University, United Kingdom, the Harvard Kennedy School, United States of America, and the University of Cambridge, England, United Kingdom. His Excellency, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, holds the degree of Laws, LLB Honors, Barrister at Law, BL, Master in International Commercial Law, LLM, and certificates in Management and Strategic courses, Negotiation and Transformational Leadership courses. His Excellency, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, had a stint working career as a teacher at ATBU Staff School, Bauchi, Nigerian Christian Corpus Fellowship, Oka, Akwa Ibom State. He was Special Assistant to the Minister of State Transport in 2005. He has a successful private legal practice firm in Abuja. In 2006, he was inspired by one of his elder brother, former Governor Adamu Muazu of Bauchi State, to begin a career in politics. His political voyage earned him electoral victory to represent the good people of Bogoro, Das, and Tafawa Balewa constituency at the Federal House of Representatives. His Excellency, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, served in the 6th Assembly, 2007 to 2011, and chaired 2 important committees, Committee of Customs and Excise, and Committee of House Services, including several other committees. In the 7th Assembly, 2011 to 2015, His Excellency Right Honorable Dogara chaired Committee on House Services and Welfare, including several other membership of committees. He was elected Speaker in the 8th Assembly on the June 9th, 2005, and served up until 2019. In his 12-year foray in the House of Representatives, it witnessed tremendous accomplishment in the several legislative bills sponsored by him. Of immense note are bills on corporate manslaughter and data protection bills 2010, Federal Competition Commission Bill 2011, Act to amend Section 143 of the Nigerian Constitution in order to make the process of removal of the President and the Vice President on charges of misconduct less ambiguous in 2013. I think you can clap for that. He also sponsored the bill on public interest disclosure and hire purchase bill in 2013. The Northeast Development Commission Establishment Bill in 2015 and several other bills. His Excellency Right Honorable Dogara also sponsored several motions that ordered on alleged concession agreements between Ministry of Finance and a technological firm, indiscriminate granting of waivers, exemption, and concessions by the federal government, the need for the CBN to implement cashless policy in phases, and the urgent need for both houses of National Assembly to activate their constitutional powers under Section 58, subsection 1 and subsection 5 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. As the Speaker of the 8th Assembly, His Excellency Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara constituted several committees to review obsolete laws, repeal or amend necessary laws in line with global best practices. In December 2015, the House under him, its superintendents, passed 130 bills, first reading, in one sitting and in one single day. In 1 year, the House passed 85 bills through third reading, the highest in the history of Nigeria's National Assembly. His Excellency, Right Honorable Dogara made history as the first ever speaker to step down from his seat to sponsor a motion on the urgent need for rehabilitation, reconstruction, and recovery of development of the Northeast Development Zone. As a speaker, he supported the Not Too Young to Run campaign, local government autonomy, budget reforms, and other legislative interventions. The Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara is a member of several associations, including Nigerian Bar Association, International Bar Association, associate member of World Jurists Association, and several others. His memoir, A Real Made Flint, written by Dele Momodu, was published to commemorate his 50th birthday, but the proceeds from this memoir was donated to IDPs, the less privileged. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the words of John Maxwell, the true test of leadership is not in the position, but in the impact. John Maxwell's quotes aptly reminisce His Excellency's legislative agenda that prioritized budget reforms, local government autonomy, and youth representation, which are today a lasting impact in Nigerian political landscape. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Dogara's remarkable career is a testament to the power of effective leadership and dedication to public service. A practicing Christian of the Living Faith Church worldwide, happily married to Gimbia Dogara and blessed with children. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I am proud to introduce this celebrated statesman of integrity with legislative excellence and sense of commitment to nation building as our guest lecturer. May I now, with your kind permission, invite Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara to step forward to present our maiden foundation lecture. Right Honorable Dogara, sir.
Thank you very much. Kindly take your seats. My colleagues, distinguished members of the National Assembly, some of whom are with me today, the members of the Kogi State Executive Council here present, our Vice Chancellor, our brother, our leader, Professor Olayemi Akinwumi, the DVC academic, DVC admin, provosts, deans, and directors, distinguished members of the University Senate, visiting vice chancellors and heads of other tertiary institutions that are here with us, senior academics and opposition staff, my lords, your royal highnesses, guests and friends of the university, students, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I understand the text of the lecture has been published, so those who want to follow through can go through it with me. I should be talking to the institution and the students that are here. But for the purpose of these lectures, let's assume that we're also students, because as the Vice Chancellor said in his speech, we have a role to extend this legacy to generations yet unborn. So before talking about the founder's vision, let me say that it's a profound honor to stand before you on this momentous day. Convocation, as I understand, is not just a ceremony, it is a threshold, a transition between the world you have conquered and the world you are about to share. You have conquered sleepless nights, that's for the students, rigorous study, challenging debates, and the building of lifelong friendships. Now you stand ready to enter the world, not just to take your place in it, but to transform it. Today, I want to talk about a bridge that connects a bold vision from the past to the limitless potential of your future. We're here because of a group of people, our founders, who dared to imagine this university. What was their dream? And what does it mean for us today? About 14 years ago, when the foundation stones of these great institutions were laid, the founders asked a fundamental question. What must we build to empower this generation and the generations we will never meet? The answer was not merely a collection of buildings or the establishment of faculties. It was an idea that through the relentless pursuit of knowledge, we can solve great problems, elevate humanity, and build a better, more just world. It was the idea of planting seeds of hope, creating pathways to opportunity, and building a place where talents are refined and human potential is unlocked. It was a bold declaration that education remains our most powerful weapon against poverty, ignorance, and underdevelopment. Let's talk about education and the renewed hope agenda of the present administration. In one of the historic firsts of the President Tinubu's administration, and as at September 27, 2025, just last month, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFund, a program designed to remove financial barriers to higher education for indigent Nigerian students, had supported over 510,000 students with interest-free loans. By that date, NELFund had also disbursed 99.5 billion to fund tuition and upkeep allowances for students. As we speak, as part of President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, Mr. President has prioritized inclusivity and equity in access to education. we're witnessing the gradual dismantling of systemic barriers, particularly for marginalized groups such as women and persons with disabilities. No one doubts Mr. President's commitment to ensuring that every young Nigerian, regardless of his or her background, has access to quality education. Just imagine the impact on leadership and human development if these efforts are sustained over the next few decades. To those who have often wondered why I defend and promote President Tinubu's educational policies, you have found one of the answers. Why would any sensible person who has benefited immensely from education, like myself, do otherwise? As we gather here today, distinguished guests, we celebrate not only academic excellence, but also the visionary courage of our founders, men and women, who dreamed beyond the limitations of our time. Men and women who believe, as Bodahirma once said, the ignorant mind with its infinite afflictions, passions, and evils is rooted in three poisons: greed, anger, and delusion. Ignorant men raised questions that wise men answered 1,000 years ago. This was their vision, and this vision is their legacy to us now. The motto of this great university, Sikato Adastra, meaning those one goes to the stars, or simply the sky is the limit, reminds us that there are no glass ceilings for those who dream, strive, and believe. The Federal University Lokoja exists to produce leaders and ideas that transform society locally, nationally, and globally. For this to be true, we must live here empowered, not only with knowledge, but with wisdom, discipline, and purpose. Unless your years here for students who are graduating have deepened your understanding of life through reflection, creativity, service, and experience, your education remains incomplete. Now let's talk about the manifest legacy. From its modest beginning, the Federal University Lokoja has grown into a respected center of learning, producing graduates such as we have had during the interlude, the presentation from a graduate who later became a teacher in this place. And these graduates produced by this university compete favorably across Nigeria and beyond. This university has evolved beyond the traditional ivory tower. It has become a vital part of Kogi State and Nigerian society, contributing to research, community development, and national transformation. The founders envisioned an institution that would not just consume knowledge, but create it. Today, this vision is alive and bears testimony in your classrooms, in your research, and your innovations. As you prepare to step into the world for our graduating students, remember, you are not just taking your education with you, you are taking on a responsibility. The world you are entering faces enormous challenges: youth unemployment, climate change, disruptive technologies, and deep social inequalities. Here at home, we face insecurity. The Vice Chancellor was talking to me about that. Economic instability, poor infrastructure, and fragile institutions. Locally and globally, the debt spiral appears unstoppable. And as the writer David Sharit Madari has put it, talking about the word farmer crisis that became the word of the year 2022, he said it is a term that perfectly embodies the dizzying sense of launching from one unprecedented event to another, as we wonder bleakly what new horrors might be around the corner. That is, unfortunately, is our reality today. As we speak, The extended period of instability and insecurity spoken to above, coupled with our inability to be self-critical and self-aware, have thrown us into a state of negative solidarity. Yet inside every challenge lies an opportunity waiting to be seized. Thankfully, our graduates are graduating at a remarkable moment in history, a time when technology has opened doors that once seemed locked. You can now reach global markets, to tablets, or even your phone. Innovation no longer waits for anyone's permission. Those who think differently, who learn fast, and who act boldly, they are reshaping the world, just as our founders hope you will. You too can. Let's talk about empowering our generation and the future generation through the vision of the founders. So how do we empower this generation and the future generation to fulfill the founders' vision and build upon their legacy? In order to achieve this, we must, all of us, students and all of us, embrace lifelong learning. Your degree is not the end of your education, it is the beginning. In a world where the half-life of skills is shrinking, what you learn in your first year may already be outdated by your graduation day. The founders emphasize not just knowledge transfer, but critical thinking and adaptability. Therefore, stay curious, keep learning, caution conventional wisdom. Let your degree be not a certificate of completion, but a license to keep learning. We must be stewards, not just successors, in order to drive home the legacy of the founders. And I dare say that you are not mere inheritors of the founders' vision, you are its stewards. To be a steward means to protect, to nurture, and expand what has been entrusted to you. You are not a steward until you use your knowledge with integrity, seek truth, and serve your communities. Tackle climate change with new science, fight for justice with courage, create art that inspires, and build businesses that honor both profit and humanity. For the greatest tribute to the founders is not to replicate their world, but to build one better than they could ever have imagined. We must develop a global mindset with local relevance. To do this, we must think globally but act locally. While embracing international best practices, never forget your roots. The solutions to Africa's problems must be African-led, though globally informed. Whether you become engineers, doctors, teachers, entrepreneurs, or public servants, always act. How can I apply global knowledge to solve local problems? Be guided by the university's enduring values, truth, reason, service, integrity, and the belief that knowledge must serve humanity and the common good. We must embrace innovation and entrepreneurship. The job for life model no longer exists. The future belongs to creators, innovators, and problem solvers. Don't just seek jobs, create them. Don't just consume, innovate. The founders envision graduates who would be job creators, not job seekers. And remember this truth: anyone who out-innovates you in this present world will always outcompete you. We must seek to be great, not merely famous. Fame, of course, is fleeting. Greatness endures. Fame serves the self. Greatness serves others. One can be famous for the wrong reasons, of course, without being great. But greatness often leads to lasting fame. As Jesus said in the Gospel of Matthew, the greatest among you shall be your servant. So true leadership is found not in power or prestige, but in the humble service to others. We must commit to ethical leadership. In a time when trust in institution is eroding, when corruption is weak in our development, and when leadership failures abound, we have the opportunity to stand apart, lecturers and students. Let integrity be your compass. Let service be your motivation. Let the common good guide your decision. Because leadership is not about the power you hold, but the impact you make on others and our world. We must build resilience and embrace failure. The road ahead, of course, will not be smooth for both lecturers, for both administrators, and for all of us students who are in the university and those of us graduating. You will, of course, stumble. You will face doubt. That's part of the journey. Anyone who tells you the journey will be smooth has most probably lied to you. You must see failure not as a defeat, but as feedback. Because every great innovator in history failed repeatedly before success came. Resilience, not brilliance, often determines who prevails. So therefore, rise after every fall. That is where the strength to conquer your world is born. We must cultivate meaningful relationships and give back. Success is not what you achieve, it is who you become and how you lift others along the way. To live out the founder's vision extends its impact beyond our generation. We must seek mentors who challenge and guide us. And as we grow, we have to become mentors ourselves. Give back with your time, your knowledge, and your resources. Never forget that the founder's legacy endures not through what you accomplish, but through how many lives you touch and transform. In closing, my charge to the graduating class of 2025, you are the next iteration of the founder's dream. The bridge we spoke about earlier that connects the past to the future is now yours to cross. And as you cross this bridge, remember that you are not just mere passengers. You are the engineers. You are the architects who must extend that bridge for others to follow. And unless you do that, you are a failure. As you leave this place today, you carry your family's hopes, your community's investments, and your nation's expectations. The people who built this university believed in you before you even set foot here. They invested in you because they believe that with the right education, you can handle anything life throws at you. So go forward as the convocation of eagles that you are. You've been built for strength, equipped to soar, and prepared to glide through life's storms. Do not surrender to the size of your challenges. When storms come, don't hide. Embrace them. Use the winds to rise higher. Be bold stewards. Build, innovate, serve, and lead. Empower generations yet unborn to look back and draw strength from your example. Finally, as you step into the world, remember you're not alone. You're part of something greater, a collective force for change. Build networks that transcend ethnicity, religion, and region. Be bridge builders in a divided world. Wherever you go, be proud ambassadors of this great university, the Federal University Lokoja. Let your conduct, your achievements, and your contributions testify to the quality of education you have received in this place. Congratulations to all of us, staff, students, and administration. The future is waiting for your legacy. God bless you.
Hello.
And may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, there's no doubt in our minds that His Excellency, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, CFR, has blazed the trail. I would like to crave your indulgence to invite comments, observations, and questions that may have arisen from the lecture delivered by this distinguished Nigerian. Ms. Vice Chancellor, I take your permission to open the floor. If you are interested in asking questions or making comments or contributions, please, let's identify you by raising your hands, and then you come forward and introduce yourself. And then be very brief and brisk about it. The floor is open. Please, Professor Olarotimi Ajayi, the Provost of the College of Postgraduate Studies.
Well, thank you, our MC. Your Excellency, sir. Thank you for this inspiration. And I know that leaving this gathering, we will have this lecture on our website for the whole world to read and for us to continually see it as a daily guide. Let me also congratulate our amiable Vice Chancellor for bringing this quality celebration to us here in the university. You can never have it so good the way you have done. Thank you very much, sir. The guest speaker, sir, definitely you are a man of history. We reckon with you, your role as the speaker. In my own discipline of political science, each time our students pick a topic on executive-legislative relationship in Nigeria, they use your tenure as a case study where oversight responsibility was not only seen as a theory, but also practiced in Nigeria's National Assembly. But what struck me in your closing remark when you were admonishing our students, you spoke about building bridges across ethnicity, religion, and other primordial forces. And we saw that happen in your emergence as the Speaker of the House. Against all permutations and odds by the ruling party under the late Muhammadu Buhari, you emerged. Maybe in the course of this deliberation, you elaborate more on that. How Saraki became the Senate president, how Dogara became the speaker at that time, because it was a civilian coup within the civilian regime. And I believe that it has to do with the issue of building bridges, how a PDP man will emerge as the speaker in an APC government. But beyond all, sir, I want to thank you very much for having time to be with us today, for adding color to this university, for projecting the image of FUL. And I know that We have not had the last of you because the world is awaiting your presence. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. Professor Mike Ogrima, Provost, College of Health Sciences. Professor Mike Ogrima, MNI.
Thank you, sir. I want to congratulate the Vice Chancellor for inviting a man that I have ever loved to watch, a man full of philosophy, and he has demonstrated that today. Thank you, sir, for continuing to teach us. I'm struck by the words you use: building bridges, renewed hope, and politics of ideology. Sir, we have teeming youth, unemployed, unempowered. How do we empower them to cross this bridge? Whether it's a weak bridge or a very strong bridge, how do we empower them? Thank you.
Professor Ofure Aito, Director, Gender Studies.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. The Vice Chancellor, we appreciate your inviting our special guests to our Founders Day, and Honorable Dogara, you have, I was a bit detached, you know, like a politician coming to talk to us. And I'm like, okay, it's all going to be about political speeches, rhetorics. But I must say that you floored my foundation with your intellectual presentation. Thank you very much, sir. Beyond that, I was quite inspired by, and I'm glad the Provost of College of Postgraduate Studies hinted on it, the building of bridges. And the discourse of nationalism within the divergent ethnicity or ethnic divides or tribalism in Nigeria. You as a lawyer and a politician, how do we begin to build bridges, especially when we talk about legacies for this young, aspiring, ambitious dreamers who want to also become leaders tomorrow? In addition to that, I have also come to realize something that for every youth in Nigeria to make a step forward in building a future based on the legacy inherited, it is almost like an endless hurdle. It's a tough Herculean task in Nigeria today, especially when we look at the structure of things the way they are. And it is even more difficult for women who have to subject themselves, even when they have the dreams, even when they have the ambitions, and they want to leave the legacies of the founders, they have to contend with double burdens or yokes, such as tradition, social expectations, masculinity, and so many other factors. The other time we were talking about, I was watching the NTA because I'm fond of it, and I saw women clamoring at Abuja for more space political allocations for women in the parliament. And I kept telling myself, we do not need to shout for it. We can work for it. But then, is a social structure ready to allow us to work for it? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm Professor K.I.T. Eniola, the Vice Chancellor of Kogi State University, Kaba.
Your Excellencies, good morning and thank you. For me, I want to say thank you for representing the political class well, because what you have done this morning is change a narrative that only people that are not cerebrally capable run into politics. This morning, I was reading a post from Ghana that was challenging African researchers to change our setup. And I will read something that you said. The solution to Africa's problem must be African-led, though globally informed. And that happened to be the focus of that paper I was reading. And yesterday, somebody made a statement that we need to rethink our curriculum, which aligns with one of my thinking. Our education as a whole, do we not need to rethink it? What was handed to us was a regurgitative education. And you all remember from primary school, you memorize 1 times 1, 1, 2 times 2, 4. And that's the way we go. And you grow up and remember to continue like that. But have you looked at children? When they want to come down and they meet an obstacle, without anybody teaching them, they get over that obstacle, even at their toddler's age. What is wrong with us? The critical thinking that we had as babies got lost in our regurgitative thinking, the regurgitative education. Is it not time for us to actually rethink? And now I'm talking to my colleagues in the academics. We need to rethink our curriculum and emphasize what they call 21st century skills. They are not 21st century skills. They have been native skills, critical thinking and problem solving. They are native skills. And I think we need to refocus our education. Thank you for representing the political class well, and thank you for giving a good start to this kind of lecture. God bless you.
Yes, Professor Alabi of the entrepreneurship. Yes.
Thank you very much, the Vice Chancellor and our distinguished lecturer today. I want to appreciate your presentation. And I was just thinking aloud. You're giving us 8 nuggets of how to become good ambassadors of this university. And I think you have trajected all the various areas. I'm happy about the lifelong learning. I'm happy you mentioned area that's very germane to me, and that's innovation and entrepreneurship. I want to say that innovation is key, but innovativeness is the capacity to be innovative. In other words, yes, innovation will drive the world, but until and unless we create that ability to innovate, we will not. And you mentioned very, very germane thing. Students, you are going out there, you are carrying 3 big burdens. 1, the weight of your family as a legacy, and the investment of the community you have mentioned, and of course, nation expect more from you. The Vice Chancellor of this university have created a platform for all graduates. 1, that you go from this university with a degree, which is just a ticket. He has moved forward to say you cannot leave this university except you have skills that you can transform. And that's why under our able director we have entrepreneurship unit. He said further that you cannot, you must be creative right here. And so our students are going out there with a business registration certificate that says connect to the world. And finally, is professionalizing whatever you are doing. So in whatever discipline, please seek professionalism. And able speaker have demonstrated that. For me, think entrepreneurship, speak entrepreneurship, display entrepreneurship, radiate entrepreneurship, and personify entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship answers all things. God bless you, sir, for this wonderful opportunity.
The head of biotechnology, Professor Biotechnology, come forward. Thank you, sir. Vice Chancellor, sir, and our distinguished lecturer, thank you very much. I was thrilled with the way you are just dishing out the point in short sentences. Thank you very much. In your speech, you mentioned that you will always defend the educational policy of the Mr. President, that you have benefited so much from education, and thank you very much. But there's something I just want to see, that you can help us more. Right now, the ASU strike is on. And one of the problems is the issue of funding. If we are going to give our education, our students the kind of education they need, the government needs to look more into funding our institutions. Thank you. The founding fathers who established this university, like we've said, they had a desire, but that desire should just go beyond just putting university in every state. And it's a good thing that the president and the cabinet have decided that for the next 7 years, they are not going to establish other universities, but to fund those ones that are there. So somebody, thank God for our VC that has brought somebody of your caliber to this place. Please help us and help other people. The university to be better funded. Thank you very much.
Finally, I bring in Professor, yes, head of biochemistry and director of infectious disease control. Thank you. Finally. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, Your Excellency, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, I just want to state that you have made a wonderful presentation, and I want to thank the Vice Chancellor for bringing you this quality. Yes, you have come from Bauchi State. I also started my career with Bauchi State University in Gadao, and I know the enormous amount of money, funds that came into Gadao when it was established. So it is when this Federal University was also established, a lot of money was released for its takeoff and for its establishment. So I want to reemphasize that why is it that you, as a founder, you have exercised, you have used a lot of money to establish something, and in the middle of it, you will not continue to fund. UNESCO has recommended that about 20 to 26% of the budget of a country should be put to education. And when you put that to education, you will not need to advertise. There was a time when almost everybody from Nigeria was going to Malaysia. It was because the government invested in education. If the government has not invested in education, we will not all be rushing to Malaysia. So, Your Excellency, sir, I just want to re-echo the last speaker. We want you to assist us to carry this news that education should be funded. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, you may wish to respond. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm quite happy about the kind of intervention I've had from professors and those who have spoken after the lecture. for a dear professor who sought to know about the coup in the National Assembly that brought me, Saraki, into the leadership position. I think there's no free lunch anywhere. If you want the detailed story, you have to pay for that. But I think what will inform that was the rational choice of members. Okay, I can stand, there's no problem. So that, you know, we have come to believe in the National Assembly. In those days, I don't know what happens there now, since I'm not a member. That anytime the leadership of the National Assembly is thrown up by the members themselves, whether it's that of the leadership or the House of Representatives, the House or the Senate have always tended to perform better in terms of expectations of our citizens. You know, the saying that he who pays the piper dictates the truth is very, very, dictates the tune is very, very true. So it was because of the resolve of the members themselves that they didn't want an imposed leadership. More than anything Saraki and I could have done that brought us into leadership position as at that time, without the support of the powers that be, without the support of our parties. In fact, in my own case, there was even a mock election in which they allocated either 3 or 5 votes to me before the main election. But thankfully, I was not even there. I didn't participate, and I even got 5 votes. So I thought that was very, very generous on the part of those conducting the elections. Talking about building bridges and empowering our youth to cross over this bridge, as I spoke about, when they're crossing, they should look at themselves as the engineers, as the architects. They're not just mere passengers, but people who should give themselves the responsibility of extending the bridge for others to cross. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You see, the point is that we are many in this country, but unfortunately, strength is not the function of numbers. It's a function of unity. You are strong not because you are many. You are strong because you are united. The problem with this country, we can all attest to, that has given rise to all manner of evils that we're fighting and combating, is because of this breakdown of the social fabric. When we're supposed to be that beautiful mosaic or beautiful tapestry, if you like, of people who come from different backgrounds, different tribes, different religions, melting together in one pot, and then delivering on the promises of this country. We'll begin to see, because of the failure and the collapse in the social fabric, all ethnic nationalities trying to pull out. So if we don't take deliberate steps in institutions like this or higher learning, where we can encourage people to come together, to forge together, regardless of their backgrounds, then we run into a situation where we have isolated ethnic nationalities in Nigeria, each nationality doing whatever they want to do. So at what point do we bring ourselves together in pursuit of the common good? And tell me one civilization that was ever built by people who were disunited. It is unity that brings belief, and it is unity that engenders advancement and development. So we cannot remain divided as we are in Nigeria and hope that we will ever amount to much. So that was the point I was making. So if young people from primary school to secondary school to the university are taught this early, it will help them. So that when you go out there, you should know that I'm not just an individual. I'm supposed to be a part of something bigger, a part of something better, collective force for change. And there's a limit to what I can achieve as an individual. But if I'm able to join hands with my brothers and sisters, there's no limit to what we can achieve. That was the point I was trying to make. On gender issues, you know, it's the question of framing. This current campaign for creation of seats exclusively reserved for women in parliament, I think I started it. I even drafted the framework and challenged the women to take up the battle. And I'm happy. I spoke in the villa about this openly. And I said, look, any nation you go to and you find the women failing, it is because there's no strength in the men. I said, if we Nigerian men are strong, why do we always have to bend to pick down our women folk from the ground? And I said, look, this democracy is about what you demand and what you don't demand. And you see, gender issues, even in the US, with the advancement that they often proclaim, wasn't the issue. At a point, women couldn't vote or even own property in the US. So you have all this affirmative movement, women who came, you know, campaign hard, push for it, until something gave way. And I said, if women can take this at this level to say, oh, given the kind of exposure that our women folk have, and you know, the kind of financial strength that they have, to now say, okay, it's an open field, compete with the men. Any reasonable person knows that the game is already rigged in favor of the men. So for us to deliberately help the women folk, we needed to do something deliberate, create seats across constituencies, across states, both in the Senate. I said, okay, let's start with the House of Representatives. Let us have dedicated seats for women. There may be 36, one per state, or even more than that. Those seats exclusively should be left for women. They're the only ones who can bid for it. And yet they are still free to contest the remaining 360. So that per time, even if none of them win out of the 360, they still must take 36 seats if it is one per state. You know, but it's an ongoing conversation. It's not going to be easy. But my charge is that we should never give up, especially the women amongst us here. The fact that we will not listen to you, the fact that we may pretend you are not doing anything is not an excuse for you to stop. Just keep pushing until something gives way, and it will. One of the professors talked about rethinking our curriculum. I've always advocated this. You see, the truth is that the educational system in Nigeria was designed by the colonial government, and we subsequently inherited it. And it wasn't developed to produce leaders. It was developed to generate the workforce. Just people who will teach, people who will be laborers, people who will serve the interests of the colonial government. It was never meant to produce leaders. And what we suffer from in this nation, across all strata of society, is the absence of true leadership. And unfortunately for us, without leadership, you cannot make progress. It was Alexander the Great, the greatest ever known general in history. After conquering the whole of known world, the man sat down and cried and said there were no more worlds for him to conquer. He said something which is phenomenal about leadership. He said that he's always afraid of the army of sheep led by a lion than the army of lion led by a sheep. And that speaks to the value of leadership. Unfortunately, our educational system doesn't throw up leaders. The docility in just cramming, pouring out the thing, making first class, the moment you leave the university, you are lost. Speaks volumes to the type of education we offer. If you go to the Far East, for instance, whether it's in China, in Korea, you see that from a very young age, pre-primary school, kids are brought, some of them are dressed in camouflage, they perform all manner of things. Some will be playing with guns, with this and that. So from there, they begin to see the talents that these children are exhibiting. So they begin to say, oh, this one can be good in the army, or this one might be a professor in this field, or this one would be an engineer, and so on and so forth. So by the time they are done from secondary school and they want to go into university, the path is already clear for them. So a university is supposed to be a center where people bring their talent to polish. So that once you leave university, the whole world is free for you, waiting for you to exhibit your talent. But unfortunately, a lot of 99.9, if not all the students, by the time they are leaving the university, they don't even know what talents is built into them. You get to discover that much later in life. If people will be great authors, will be this, they already know, so they begin to develop those aspects in the university. So that once you release them, whether they are engineers, they are first-class engineers. If they are lawyers, first class, because a lot of foundational work has been done on them. But our curriculum presently does not offer that. But honestly, without training leaders, even the innovation we're talking about, the entrepreneurship that the professor spoke to about here, without leadership, you cannot amount to anything. And to exercise leadership, you need to know what you carry. You need to know what is built, what is trapped in you as a person. So we have a big problem there. But the work should begin from you. You are the experts, VC. You should begin to change the narrative. It is some of us who are politicians can only amplify your voices in this regard and make sure that whatever you do come to fruition. The ASU strike and funding of universities. Honestly, that is a very, very difficult conversation. I do not pretend to say that I know the details, as it were. I was involved when I was in power in the National Assembly. I know the issue. I know how difficult it is. But you see, the truth is, as the Chinese will always say, cheap things, no good. Good things, no cheap. If we must offer qualitative education, it must be built on the fact that we are ready to put our money where our mouth is. But without funding, everything we're talking about here will not amount to much as well. But the truth is that the university community should also understand the point from which we're speaking to as leaders. There are other competing needs, whether you like it or not. Education is by far the most important. Obviously, I agree. But there's insecurity. People cannot sleep. There is poverty, there's hunger. There's so many families who go to bed every night hungry. Then there's a question of how do we produce this food for people to be able to eat? And you will agree with me, PhD holder, a professor, a researcher, spend 2 or 3 days without food. Let's see the kind of research you come up with. So there are competing priorities out there, and the resources we have is not that much. So, but we have come to a point where the government will have to come out truly and tell those of us in the university of a truth This is what we have. If we like, we can say, okay, you are professors, you are the one teaching us a good thing. Allocate the money. Take the ones you want to give the university, give the ones you want to give to agriculture, security, but these are the needs. Help us to allocate. I believe if there is that genuine and frank engagement with our lecturers, they will come to the understanding, they will see the difficulty themselves, and they will appreciate that we have to cut our cord by the size of our material, not by the size, not by our size or the size of the problems we have. But I know that this issue relating to funding in our universities is something that we must solve if we aim to deliver qualitative education. And like I said, without qualitative education, I spoke to this in the office of the VC, both the abundant human resources that we have and the resources itself, they will rot. Because you need education to be able to bring out the wealth that is buried beneath the surface. When Clinton came to Nigeria, he said something that I'll never forget. He said that in the context of the modern world, the real wealth has migrated from what you have buried beneath your earth surface to what you have buried in your head. And it is very, very true. If we can't educate our people, both the natural resources that are there and the people themselves will rot. And in countries even without the natural resources, where they have educated their people, they have been able to make progress. They have hit the first wall. But in countries that have abounding natural resources, without qualitative education, you can see the decay everywhere. So it is a need that we must address. And I pray the government will find the will to sit down frankly, putting on the cap of leadership with our teachers, with our lecturers, with all the professors, and let them engage in a very difficult but frank conversation about how we can fund our universities. So I guess this brings me to the end of
Thank
my
you
response.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, it is time that I invite you to present a cultural wares as a way of a token appreciation of this lecture.
Professor Otimi Ajayi, please can you join us here? The two Deputy Vice Chancellor and Registrar, please join us here. Sir? Please, sir. I think we should figure out.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Prof, you can take your seat, sir. Thank you. The usual souvenir, sir. The plaque. Quickly. What do you want?
BC Kaba, please can you step forward, please? On behalf of the university, please support some.
On behalf of the Vice Chancellor of Federal University Lokoja, it is my honor to present this to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. The registrar, ma, would you kindly come upstairs to present the Vice Chancellor's vote of thanks? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Emes. Our Vice Chancellor, sir. Our distinguished lecturer, His Excellency Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, 13th Speaker of the House of Representatives of our great country, Nigeria, principal officers present, respected dignitaries, invited guests, distinguished guests, our students, the reasons for which we are all gathered here. It's always a pleasure to thank everyone for making Federal University work. Federal University of Lokoja work and work well. So on behalf of council, our council, by the way, they are around for our convocation. On behalf of council, on behalf of management, led by our dynamic Vice Chancellor. And I don't know how better to qualify him to say that we are very proud of you, sir. On behalf of him, on behalf of our faculty, our provost, deans, and directors, we'd like to thank you most sincerely, our lecturer, our distinguished lecturer, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara. You know, while listening to the lecture, it was mesmerizing. I think it was just almost like music. And I'm almost so sure that it would be embedded in the hearts of so many of these young graduates of our students for a long time to come. There's so many things. I just Googled him a bit, and there are quotes from Dogara, plenty quotes. I listened to him on the platform, the June 12 program by Covenant Nations. And it was just classical Dogara we listened to today. Very honest, passionate about Nigeria, passionate about education, passionate about making Nigeria work through education. And I think, sir, we're really, really honored to have you. We're grateful to have you. We're thankful. I'd like to thank everyone present. Visiting Vice Chancellor, you've been here with us for, I don't know how many days. I know how costly that can be. Thank you so much. My dear colleague, Registrar Amodu, Dr. Amodu, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being with us. We have dignitaries everywhere here. We thank you for honoring this, adding color to our programs always. And what can we say about founding fathers and mothers? You know, it starts from there. We keep saying founding fathers. There are mothers. And we have one of them with us, Mama Abiba. Thank you so much for the sacrifices. For a new university, you have no idea how that works. Through bushes, you just work with everything. And that foundation is what we're building on. And successive administration will take this thing higher than we have left it. That's the idea of a university. It says a corporate institution with perpetual succession. So it's not ending with us. It's not ending with this administration. So I'd like to thank you all for always making our lectures beautiful, enriching, and a learning point every time we have lectures here. I'd like to thank our students. I won't tell you how we got here, but thank you for obeying, and you will get your certificates. You will be cleared. Yeah, you will be cleared as soon as you leave here. You go to the bursary and get your clearance done. We'd like to thank our music department as always. They make us proud. Thank you so much. The LOC, we're grateful. The security personnel, and everyone that has added color to this and made it a success. Thank you so much, and thank you, everyone. We have something coming up for 2 p.m. We want to recognize staff, friends, students, alumni. By 3 p.m. today, right after this lecture. So we'll do that after the VC has entertained his guests somewhere on campus. Thank you so much. Thank you for.
Thank you very much. We've come to the end of this program, and as a mark of memorabilia, we would like to have snapshots with our guest lecturer. I will do it in this orderly manner. The principal officers would first have a snapshot. Principal officers and our guest lecturer will step forward. Principal officers. Thank you. Principal officers. Thank you. Principal officers. Principal officers. Thank you. Let them stop it. Let them stop. Thank you. Our guests at the first row. Guests at the first row. Guests at the first row, please join. Guests at the first row. Thank you. Thank you. Guests at the first rows, thank you. Let them stop this thing now. Okay, stop this, please. Yes, our guests at the first row, please go back to your seats. Our guests at the second row, deans, provosts, visiting vice chancellors, first row. Please join the principal officers and the guests, lecturer. Madam Habiba Adeza, please join the visiting lecturers, guest lecturer, yes, visiting vice chancellors. Yes, thank you. Once you are done, you can go back to your seats. Thank you. Our deans and directors, third row, please join the principal officers to snap with the guest lecturer. Third row, please be fast about this, please. Deans, directors, go back to your seats. Deans, directors, please, can you excuse us? Please, those of you at the third row, head of department of physics, join. Thank you. Director of legal, join. Thank you. Thank you. Please be fast about it. Thank you. Thank you. Students, music students that are around, please, directors, you can leave. Thank you. Students that are around, please join and have a snapshot with Honorable Dogara. Students. Thank you. Thank you. Students, please. Yes, yes. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. National anthem, please. National anthem. National anthem and the university anthem. Yes, please, music.
Greatest FUL.
All right.